Imagine waking up to the soft sound of a call to prayer echoing across the rooftops, the scent of rice steaming in the kitchen, and the quiet presence of family already up and moving. Your day begins not with rushing or stress, but with a sense of connection, to tradition, to others, to something bigger than yourself. Now shift scenes. It's 7:30 a.m. in Central Europe. You grab a coffee from the kitchen. Maybe nod at your roommate, maybe not. You slip on your sneakers, headphones in, no small talk. A cold tram ride through Prague, eyes down, mind already at your desk. There's no ceremony here, just quiet purpose. These are two completely different worlds. Two completely different ways of working, living, and relating to the people around you. Indonesia is a deeply communal society. It's shaped by religion, family, hierarchy, and rhythm. From Bali to Jakarta, the day flows with a certain softness, even when life is busy. The workplace often mirrors a traditional structure. There's respect for age, experience, and position. Harmony matters more than speed. And spiritual practices are not something you hide, they're woven into the everyday routine. It's not uncommon to pause for prayer at work, or to start the day with a shared meal and soft greetings rather than a sprint toward inbox zero. Czech Republic, in contrast, values independence and personal space. It's a post-communist, modern European country with little tolerance for unnecessary hierarchy or forced smiles. Formalities are minimal, but so is emotional expression. People get things done, on time and without fuss, but don't expect them to join a team-building activity or overshare during lunch. The boundary between personal life and work is sharp and fiercely protected. Respect here means, don't interrupt, don't micromanage, and don't make anyone stay late if it's not truly necessary. So why are we comparing these two? Because they offer two completely valid, yet fundamentally opposite, visions of what the modern working life can look like. In one, your value comes from your place in the group, your loyalty, your ability to keep harmony. In the other, your worth is measured by how well you think for yourself, how you protect your time, and how little you rely on anyone else. Over the next few minutes, we'll take you inside a typical workday in both countries. From the breakfast table to the evening commute, we'll explore what it feels like to live and work in Indonesia and the Czech Republic. Sparkles, and here's the twist. At the end, we'll ask a simple question. Where is life actually more comfortable? Not more efficient, not more modern, but simply more human. Ready? Let's begin. Indonesia, a day in the life. Sun morning. In Indonesia, the day often starts before sunrise. Around 4:30 or 5 a.m., in many neighborhoods, you'll hear the call to prayer gently rolling through the streets. For Muslim families, which make up the majority, this is the first spiritual moment of the day. Even for non-practicing or non-Muslim Indonesians, the early start is part of the culture. There's a certain peace in that moment. The world's still half asleep, the streets dim, but the intention to start with presents already set. By 6 a.m., homes are already buzzing. Parents preparing food, children getting ready for school, and the smell of nasi goreng fried rice filling the air. Breakfast here is not just cereal or toast. It's often warm, savory, and shared. Something to ground you for the day ahead. You might also find lontong, gado-gado, or bubur ayam on the table, local favorites that combine flavor with comfort. There's no rush. No one's gulping down coffee while running for the train. Instead, there's a rhythm smooth, communal, intentional. People greet each other with smiles. Neighbors chat. Morning is social, not just functional. Some stop by local prayer halls or temples for a moment of stillness before work. Some families even take time to do a short group prayer or morning blessing before heading out, a small ritual that sets the tone for the day. Spirituality is woven into daily life, not segmented away from it. Children bow to elders. Shoes are placed neatly at the door. There is a gentle flow to how mornings unfold, respectful, orderly, and collective. Motor scooter the commute. Getting to work in Indonesia depends on where you live. In Jakarta, the capital, traffic is notorious. Commutes can last 1 to 2 hours. But people adapt. Many ride motorbikes, weave through traffic, and stop at roadside vendors for coffee or teh manis, sweet tea, in a plastic cup. It's not unusual to see someone balancing a lunchbox on one arm while holding a helmet in the other. Others take ojek, motorcycle taxis, or angkot, the shared minivans that act as informal public transport. It's not always efficient, but it's familiar. And people make it work. Drivers often know your name. There's a personal rhythm to even public movement. During the ride, you'll often see passengers scrolling through their phones, listening to religious lectures, texting family, or just staring out the window. In smaller cities or on the islands, the commute might be a walk past rice fields or a ride along the coast. It's slower and sometimes more peaceful. The scenery becomes part of the morning routine. Despite the chaos of the roads, there's a kind of acceptance. Honking isn't angry, it's communication. Traffic jams don't spark rage, they spark conversation, snacks, patience. People buy fruit from windows, listen to live buskers weaving between cars, and somehow, everything flows. Adult briefcase start of the workday. The typical office day starts around 8 or 9 a.m. Many people work in government offices, banks, or in the growing tech and service sectors. Offices can range from sleek, modern co-working spaces to more traditional, hierarchical workplaces with a strong chain of command. In both cases, dress tends to be modest and clean, batik shirts on Fridays, formal wear on weekdays. There's a certain calmness at the beginning of the day. No one storms into meetings or rushes to fire off emails. Instead, people ease in, chat over coffee, review tasks, maybe even start the day with a small team prayer or briefing DOA. Ritual is part of structure, and structure is part of peace. In many offices, there's still a clear respect for seniority. You don't call your boss by their first name. You wait your turn to speak. Decisions take time, and meetings often include indirect language and gentle nods, not loud debates. It's not inefficiency, it's relational logic. There's also a strong sense of community. If someone's having a rough morning, others notice. You might find coworkers bringing extra snacks, checking in, offering help. Empathy is built into the rhythm of the day. You're not just a professional, you're a human being within a group. Curry rice lunch and breaks. Lunch in Indonesia is a highlight. It usually starts around noon and can last up to an hour, sometimes more. And unlike many Western offices, people rarely eat alone at their desks. It's a group ritual. There's laughter, stories, and always rice. Employees often go out together to nearby food stalls or warungs, small local eateries. A common lunch might be ayam goreng, fried chicken, tempeh, rice, vegetables, and a spicy sambal sauce. Others bring food from home, lovingly packed by a spouse or parent. There's pride in homemade food and generosity in sharing. It's not just about eating. It's about bonding. Talking about family, TV shows, the latest drama. Work fades into the background, if only for a while. This break recharges more than the body, it nourishes connection. In more religious offices, you might see a break for prayer in the afternoon, with dedicated spaces provided. Spirituality is not hidden, it's part of the rhythm. The schedule makes space for the soul. And if there's a birthday, expect snacks, cakes, maybe even a little group sing-along. Offices celebrate together, it's part of the collective vibe. You'll often see decorations, selfies, and a sense of simple joy. 5 o'clock end of the workday. The workday often ends around 5 or 6 p.m. But in many places, staying a bit longer is common, not because of pressure, but because of social dynamics. You don't want to seem rude or selfish by leaving too early. And sometimes, staying late is just expected, especially if your manager hasn't left yet. There's a subtle unspoken rule, together in, together out. However, there's also a cultural softness here. People might work late, but they'll do it together, chat while working, order snacks, take breaks. It's not the high-pressure grind you might see elsewhere. The late evening feels less like overtime and more like extended community. Some offices even have small group prayers before leaving. It creates closure, a ritual that ends the shared workday. It's as if the workplace itself exhales with the people who fill it. Cityscape at dusk evening. Evenings in Indonesia are family time. People head home, gather for dinner, pray, relax, and unwind. In urban areas, some might go to malls or cafes. These are the go-to social spaces in many cities. It's where people socialize, window shop, or just cool down from the heat. But for many, the evening means simple pleasures, watching TV with family, chatting on the porch, or visiting relatives. Community doesn't stop when work ends, it continues. Friends drop by without appointment. Children play in the streets. Life spills gently into the night. Some join evening religious gatherings or community events. Others simply enjoy the quiet. The city settles, but never fully sleeps. On weekends or holidays, families often go together on local trips to temples, nature spots, or beachside food stalls. Togetherness isn't an occasion, it's a habit. Even weddings or funerals become social events that draw whole neighborhoods. Brain cultural insights. Hierarchy is real. It's not just symbolic. It defines how you speak, how you act, and how you navigate the workplace. Age and position matter. Spiritual time is protected. Prayer breaks, religious holidays, and rituals are not seen as distractions. They're part of the day's structure. Harmony over confrontation. People avoid open conflict. Feedback is given gently. Yes doesn't always mean agreement. Sometimes it means, I hear you, but I'll decide later. Collectivism matters. Helping each other, sharing food, emotional support, these aren't extras. They're expected. The group moves together. Pace and patience. Things may move slowly, but they move collectively. What seems inefficient at first glance often hides a deeper cultural coherence. And what surprises foreigners the most? That despite the traffic, the bureaucracy, or the long meetings, people remain incredibly patient. Smiling. Centered. There's a collective emotional resilience here, like a calm beneath the noise. It's a different pace, a different logic, and for many, a quietly powerful kind of peace. Czech Republic, a day in the life. Sun morning. In the Czech Republic, mornings are quiet. Very quiet. Cities like Prague, Brno, or Ostrava slowly come to life as trams start rolling and cafes begin opening their shutters. There's no morning prayer, no community rituals, just the soft hum of independence. People rise around 6:30 or 7 a.m., often without alarm clocks blaring or parents shouting. It's a culture of internal discipline, calm, practical, and self-managed. Early risers might do a bit of morning stretching, read the news, or walk their dog before heading to work, enjoying the cool air and empty sidewalks. Some might spend a few quiet minutes tending to plants on their balcony or doing a light yoga routine at home. The typical Czech breakfast is simple: bread with butter and jam, cheese, maybe cold cuts, and most definitely coffee or tea. No feast, no ceremony. Eating is efficient, fueling the body, not a moment for socializing. Some families may sit together briefly, but many prefer a solitary start. The emphasis is on peace and getting out the door with minimal noise. In more traditional households, you might find boiled eggs, yogurt, or even leftover soup from the night before, practical and filling. Some may grab a quick pastry from a corner bakery while walking to the tram stop. Morning greetings? They're short and polite. A nod. A dobrano, good morning. And that's enough. Small talk is rare. People respect space, both physical and mental. This quiet atmosphere continues into stairwells, elevators, and even public transportation. Everyone minds their own world, and that's seen as respectful. In office buildings, early arrivals may exchange a muted greeting before diving into work, with headphones on and coffee mugs in hand. Tramcar the commute. Czech cities are known for their excellent public transport. Whether it's the metro in Prague or trams in Brno, the system runs with near-clockwork precision. Commutes are clean, quiet, and efficient. People read the news, listen to podcasts, scroll through their phones, or simply look out the window in silence. If you observe closely, you'll notice an unspoken etiquette. No loud phone calls, no music without headphones, no unnecessary noise. Unlike in more chaotic cities, here the commute is rarely stressful. It's structured and predictable. There's no shouting, no honking, no rush. Even during peak hours, there's a sense of personal space and calm. Many commuters have a favorite tram seat or a routine path they follow, enjoying the predictability. If delays occur, they're handled with mild shrugs and shared glances, not frustration. For many, especially in smaller towns, the commute might be just a 10-minute walk. Czechs value proximity. Long, exhausting commutes are seen as something to avoid, not endure. Living close to work is not only convenient but part of the national logic. Why waste energy on the road when you can spend it elsewhere? In rural areas, people may cycle to work or drive on quiet country roads, often passing forests or open fields along the way. Adult laptop computers start of the workday. Work typically starts at 8 or 9 a.m. Punctuality is respected, but not obsessively enforced. People arrive, hang up their coats, grab coffee, and settle in. Offices tend to be informal, no strict dress code, no grand greetings, no loud announcements. Just a quiet, efficient start. Colleagues may exchange a quick nod or light remark, then get to their desks and begin their tasks. Conversations, when they happen, are brief and task-oriented. Hierarchy exists, but it's subtle. A junior employee can speak freely in a meeting. A manager won't expect to be addressed with special titles. What matters is competence, not age or formality. Teams are often small and cross-functional, which allows for collaboration without too many layers of approval. Decisions are made collectively, but without unnecessary meetings or bureaucracy. The work culture values autonomy. You're given tasks, deadlines, and the freedom to manage your time. Micromanagement is rare. People focus on their part, trust each other to deliver, and keep meetings short and purposeful. Most Czechs appreciate structure but dislike overcomplication. Workflow is often streamlined, and digital tools are widely used to avoid redundancy. Employees take pride in being reliable and efficient without seeking constant recognition. Sandwich lunch and breaks. Lunchtime usually falls between 12 and 1 p.m. Most companies encourage employees to take a proper break. Some have cafeterias offering traditional Czech meals like svikova, beef with creamy sauce, rysek, schnitzel, or soups. Others head to nearby restaurants, often with lunch menus at discounted prices. The menu is usually posted online each morning, and choosing a spot can be a quiet part of the daily ritual. Lunch is a pause, not a bonding event. People might eat together, but there's little chatter. It's a time to eat, not to network. Afterward, many go for a short walk or grab a coffee before returning to their desks. Some might read news articles, check in on family messages, or take a short breather outside if the weather's good. Others browse the bookstore or take a few quiet minutes in a nearby park. In many offices, there's also an afternoon coffee break around 3 p.m. informal, but culturally accepted. A chance to refresh, not socialize. A colleague might offer a small biscuit or treat, but again, it's quiet, minimal, and non-intrusive. The coffee break is more about resetting your brain than catching up on gossip. Some workplaces even have a quiet lounge or reading corner where employees can decompress for a few minutes. Hourglass on end of the workday. Czechs are serious about work-life balance. At 5 p.m., the office begins to empty. Staying late isn't a badge of honor. It's often seen as poor time management. People finish what they need to, then log off. There's an understanding that life continues outside the workplace, and protecting that boundary is healthy, not rebellious. There's a strong boundary between work and personal life. Colleagues rarely call each other outside office hours. Emails after hours? Often ignored until morning. It's not laziness, it's clarity. Work belongs at work. Managers who break this unspoken rule may quietly lose respect. Some companies even have policies that discourage after-hours communication unless urgent. Remote work is also growing in popularity. Many companies offer hybrid models, allowing employees to work from home several days a week, as long as deadlines are met and communication stays clear. Trust is foundational. Flexible hours are also more common in creative or tech fields, where results matter more than presence. Sunset evening. After work, Czechs return to their private world. Some go for a beer with close friends. Czechia has the highest beer consumption per capita in the world, while others go home to cook, read, or spend time with family. Public spaces are calm. Parks fill with joggers and parents with strollers. Dog walkers nod to each other in passing. No loud gatherings, just a gentle evening rhythm. Others might attend yoga classes, join amateur sports clubs, or simply stroll along the river. Dinner is often home-cooked. Potatoes, meat, soups. Meals are simple, hearty, and comforting. Evenings are quiet, slow, and deliberately uneventful. That's the point, to unwind, not to rush. Screens are dimmed early, and lights in apartment buildings fade gradually as people retreat to their personal corners. Some read novels, listen to the radio, or work on quiet hobbies like model trains, drawing, or genealogy. Weekends are sacred. Many people escape the cities to cottages, chatty, in the countryside. Nature is a refuge. Hiking, gardening, mushroom picking, these are not hobbies, but traditions. The connection to land and solitude runs deep. Children grow up with nature as their playground. Many families own a piece of land, no matter how small, where they can feel free. The ritual of packing up and heading to the cottage on Friday evening is a cherished part of life. The weekend might include DIY projects, baking traditional sweets, or repairing bicycles. No rush, no pressure, just presence. Extended families often gather on Sundays for long lunches, where multiple generations share space, stories, and silence. Brain cultural insights. Minimalism in interaction. Czechs are not cold, they're private. Trust is earned slowly, but once given, it's strong. No showmanship. Boasting is frowned upon. Humility and understatement are the cultural default. Efficiency over effort. The goal isn't to look busy, it's to get things done with minimal friction. Formality without rigidity. People are polite, but not performative. Respect doesn't need ceremony. Nature over noise. A walk in the woods is worth more than a flashy party. Simplicity is cherished. Clear boundaries. Work time, rest time, social time, each has its place. Balance isn't idealized, it's implemented. What surprises foreigners most? That silence is not awkward. That independence isn't isolation. And that a society can function incredibly well, without excess noise, stress, or spectacle. That you can live a full day, from morning to night, surrounded by people, and yet feel like your space is always yours. In Czechia, the workday flows with quiet logic. And for many, that's the definition of peace. Cultural comparison. Direct purpose of this comparison. To explore how two cultures, Indonesia and Czechia, shape daily life and work through different values, habits, and rhythms. This is not about finding a winner, but about understanding what each society emphasizes, and how that affects everything from your morning routine to your evening rest. Mantelpiece clock, wake-up time, and morning mood. Indonesia, early risers, 4:30 to 5:30 a.m., especially in Muslim communities where the day begins with prayer. Mornings feel communal, with shared breakfasts, family interactions, and neighborhood activity. There's a spiritual, social rhythm that sets the tone for the day. Czech Republic, people usually wake up around 6:30 to 7 a.m. Mornings are quiet, solitary, and routine-based. Breakfast is quick and efficient, coffee, bread, or yogurt, with little conversation. The tone is private and internal. Contrast, Indonesia welcomes the day with togetherness and sound. Czechia eases into it with silence and autonomy. Office building, start of the workday and culture of arrival. Indonesia, the workday starts between 8 o'clock and 9 a.m. Offices often begin with informal group gatherings, shared coffee, or even collective prayers. There's a clear respect for rank and hierarchy, and interpersonal relationships are emphasized. Czech Republic, also beginning around 8 o'clock or 9 a.m., the Czech workday starts without ceremony. Employees settle into their spaces quietly. Office interactions are efficient and to the point. Hierarchy exists but is understated. Contrast, Indonesia values ritual and seniority in beginning the day. Czechia prefers simplicity and self-direction. Adult laptop computer work environment and flow. Indonesia, workplaces tend to be emotionally aware. Colleagues share life updates, check on each other, and help with personal matters. Decision-making is consensus-driven, and harmony is prioritized over speed. Czech Republic, work is task-oriented and independent. Employees are trusted to manage their responsibilities with minimal supervision. Meetings are focused on outcomes, not status or emotion. Contrast, Indonesia integrates emotional and social intelligence into the workflow. Czechia optimizes for logic and clarity. For knife with plate lunch and midday breaks. Indonesia, lunch breaks are social and warm. People gather in groups, eat rice-based meals, and share conversation and laughter. It's common to extend lunch beyond 1 hour, especially in less formal offices. Czech Republic, lunch is practical and often quiet. Many eat in company cafeterias or local restaurants, sometimes alone. Meals are nutritious but straightforward. Coffee breaks are brief and personal. Contrast, Indonesia uses lunch for bonding. Czechia uses it to recharge privately. Hourglass, not on workday ending and overtime norms. Indonesia, work officially ends at 5 or 6 p.m., but many stay later if their manager does. Overtime is common but softened by a communal atmosphere. People might snack together, take breaks, or socialize while working late. Czech Republic, the end of the day is clear-cut. Most leave at 5 p.m. There's little pressure to stay late, and working overtime can be seen as inefficient planning. The boundary between professional and personal time is respected. Contrast, Indonesia blends social life into the workspace. Czechia keeps strict divisions. Cityscape at dusk, evening life and lifestyle rhythms. Indonesia, evenings revolve around family, faith, and light socializing. People gather for meals, attend religious services, or visit friends. Malls and cafes are popular in urban areas, while rural communities enjoy calm neighborhood routines. Czech Republic, evenings are quiet, often spent at home or in nature. Many cook, read, or take walks. Beer with close friends is common, but not loud nightlife. Weekends are reserved for escapes to the countryside. Contrast, Indonesia extends communal energy into the evening. Czechia retreats into calm, nature, and personal space. Brain mindsets and core values. Indonesia, community, respect, spirituality, adaptability, and emotional closeness. People often avoid conflict and value harmony over confrontation. Czech Republic, independence, privacy, logic, clarity, and trust. People speak directly and prefer to solve problems quickly and without unnecessary drama. Surprise factor. In Indonesia, foreigners may be struck by the indirectness and patience. In Czechia, by the quiet, understated nature of both life and work. Magnifying glass tilted left conclusion. Two worlds, two logics. Indonesia offers warmth, connection, and rhythm through tradition. Ideal for those who feel energized by group rituals, shared responsibilities, and emotional closeness in the workplace. Czech Republic delivers freedom, focus, and quiet boundaries. Best for those who value independence, low-pressure professionalism, and a structured balance between effort and rest. These aren't just two different countries. They're two entirely different ways of moving through the world. So ask yourself, where would you feel more at peace? In the collective flow of Indonesia or in the calm clarity of Czechia?